Hello and welcome back to the railway. Hope everyone is keeping well. Today we're going to look at how to clean the track. I'm back in the hobby 12 years now, and over that time I've developed a system for cleaning the track. It works well for me. Now if you have your own method for cleaning the track and it works well for you, then stick with it. This video will be just how I do it. There are several methods out there for cleaning the track and they all work equally as well. Over the years I've watched many track cleaning videos on YouTube and they all have something to offer, but there are certain do's and don'ts when it comes to track cleaning, and I'll run through them through the course of the video. Track cleaning, it's the perennial task for all railway modelers. You know, if you want to get the best performance from your locomotives and have realistic operations, it's got to be carried out frequently. Dirty track, it's going to cause conductivity problems. Typically you'll see the trains slow, stutter, and if you don't clean the track at all, eventually they're just going to stop. Typically the dirt on the track accumulates on the rail head, the top of the rail here, and even on the inside of the rail. And also I found over the years, especially on the corners of the tracks, I think this might be in part due to the wheel flanges forcing themselves against the inner rail, and that friction deposits the dirt on the rail. Just something else to mention is the point work and any crossovers you have. These switching blades, they also carry the current for the track, so you need to keep if I can show you, the inside of this switching blade clean, and where it contacts the stock rail here, and obviously you're going to have to do it on this side here as well. Just something else to mention, in addition to just general dirt and dust building up on the track, you have a process that begins once you turn on the controller and start running electricity through the steel rails. It's called oxidization, and unfortunately it can't be avoided, but this oxidization, it causes a buildup of kind of black grimy gunge on the top of the track, and that has to be cleaned off. You have several options when it comes to cleaning the track. You can clean it by hand, or you can use an electronic track cleaner from a manufacturer, say as Gauge Master, or you can use a track cleaning wagon. So this is the system I use. Basically you need a track cleaning solution. In this case I use white spirits, and then I also use cotton buds, and I use this CMX track cleaning car. It's an American product, and I got it a number of years ago. Generally I don't use anything abrasive, such as a track rubber. I even heard of some guys using, you know, a smooth block of wood, and definitely don't use any sandpaper. This will cause scratches on the track surface for dirt to accumulate. And I don't use anything that's oil based, you know, such as something like WD-40. Even seen guys using automatic transmission fluid. You know, they're putting a bit on the track. It is electrically conductive, but it's still an oil, and you use any kind of oils at all, you're going to have traction problems. It's gonna be an absolute nightmare to clean it off the track. Also seen guys using Goo Gone, and Goo Gone it's very good at cleaning the track. It does evaporate, but it's still kind of oily, and and I prefer not to use it. You want to use some kind of solvent that will evaporate quickly. As I said, I use white spirits, or in America they call it mineral spirits. Some guys have been using isopropyl alcohol for cleaning the track, and while it's very good at cleaning the track, without going into too much detail, there's different types of solvents, and some are known as polar solvents and some are known as non-polar solvent. With polar solvents such as isopropyl alcohol, it just attracts the dirt back to the track much quicker. And I did watch a video on YouTube a little while ago from Model Railways Unlimited, where Mike went through the differences between polar solvents and non-polar solvents. So that's why I stick with the white spirits. So in that little bit of footage there, you can really see the benefit of keeping the track clean. The Hornby J52 there was running really slowly and steadily, even over the point work. And you know, might be asking me, you know, how often do I have to clean the track? Well, you can clean it before a running session or after a running session, or once a week. Just when you notice the difference in the characteristics of the running quality, that's when it's time to start cleaning the track. Even just, you know, rubbing your finger along the railhead, you'll see something on your finger, like a little black mark, and you know it's time to start cleaning the track again. Just another thing that might help you is, you know, in terms of just trying to keep as much dirt off the track as possible, is try and run your trains often. And what I mean by that is, you know, don't have the layout abandoned for months on end without running trains. Even the act of running the trains on the track, it'll stop the build-up of really bad dirt getting on it. If you purchase, I suppose what I would term new old stock, you know, an old item from a local hobby shop, what I've done and I'm continuing to be doing is replacing the wheels on them with new wheels. It's just a better option. You know, this would be the old wheel off that coach there, and you know, under closer inspection you'll notice there's little dents and nicks and little scratches on the surface of the wheels, so you need to replace them. And it's just going to stop, you know, you'd have little bits of dirt trapped in the sides of those little nicks on the old wheels. Just get rid of them, replace them with new ones. And if any of the stock you purchase has plastic wheels, these really aren't great for keeping the dirt off the track. You want to get rid of them as well. Put on brand new wheels like that. Just before we take a look at the CMX track cleaning wagon I use, I just wanted to mention it's important to keep all your rolling stock wheels clean. So that's the locomotives, and the coaches, wagons, and sometimes before a running session, if I'm going to use something, I'll just clean all the wheels on that train. So if there is any dirt on those wagons and coaches, it's not going back onto the track. Just another thing I want to show you is I use this quite often, but even while the trains are running and this isn't on operation on the layout, I kind of go on with a bit of white spirits on the end of a cotton bud and just clean the tops of the rails. And sometimes I will even, if I can just zoom in, clean the inside there. So it's not actually the rail head, it's actually in here on the inside, because the wheel flanges on the locomotives, they also pick up electricity from there. You want to do this carefully, so just kind of hold the cotton bud at an angle to do it, because these little plastic clips here, these are these hold the rails onto actual plastic sleepers, so you don't want to damage them. You just want to kind of hold it in an angle, and if you just run it along there, you see it's not on the rail head, it's more on the inside of the rail, and it's amazing what dirt will come off that as well. So that's just something else to mention. If you have a small kind of train set sized layout, it's easy enough cleaning it by hand. But if you've got a larger layout and you don't want to spend all day and all night cleaning the track, I'm going to show you here. There is a lot of track on the layout. I mean, it stretches all the way. You've got the engine shed area there. You've got a double track main line. I've got 3 really long lines that go around to what will be a station area. Followed around, all this track here, and going back down the boards all the way to the end and back around. It's about 16 feet along the lawn lengths and about 12 feet across here. So that's a lot of cleaning by hand, and you need something that's gonna save you a bit of time and still do the job properly. And it was a good number of years ago I purchased this item. It's an American product. It's called a CMX track cleaner. At the time when I bought it, I think it was about $99. So it was as expensive as a locomotive, but I knew it would be a really good investment. It's very well made. It's extremely heavy. It's made of solid brass, and I'll just run through some of the features of it and how it's used. Just something else to let you know before we actually put this into operation is that this can be used on an analog layout as well as a DCC command control layout, and I actually have both. So I use the Hornby Select DCC controller for this line, and obviously the station and the engine shed down there, and then this inner line is controlled by a DC Gauge Master analog controller. So I use both systems, but I can use this on both tracks without any issue. Being an American product, in America they always use these KD couplers. I'll show you there. These KD, it's like a knuckle coupler, and so that might be an issue for you if you only have the British locomotives, or Irish locomotives for that matter of fact, that have the hook coupler. It is possible to get the hook to engage with the knuckle coupler, but it's something to mention. But it's not much of an issue for me. I have American locomotives that have the KD coupler, and it's just something to bear in mind. Basically, how the CMX wagon works is that you have a filler cap here, and you take it off. It has a hole there for you to put the solution in. You can use a pipette or a syringe to put the solution in there. This little hole there is like an air vent to help the drip flow. So when you're putting this back on, don't wind it up all the way tight. I kind of leave it quite loose on it. You see the way it's sticking up there, and it leaves that little air vent, that little tiny hole, able to operate correctly so that the solution will come in. This little knob here is actually the valve. When you turn it anti-clockwise, it's actually opening that valve to let the solution inside come down through onto a pad underneath. And when you buy the CMX Wagon New, it comes with a really long roll of this felt pads, and you just cut them to length. And when you have them at the correct length, you lay it on the bottom of the wagon here, and these clips clip around it. So I'll just show you if I can here. It's not easy. There we go. See that unclip there, and then to clip it back on. Just there you go. It's back on. Sorry about that. Not easy to hold the camera at the same time. So you have your felt pad on underneath. This kind of platform here, it's spring loaded, so it just means it glides over the track nice and easy. So you put your solution in there. Before you put it in, you make sure the valve is closed so there's no solution coming out. Then you open the valve slowly, and then whatever you're using, in this case white spirits, will start dripping down onto the pad here, and then you set it down the track. Have your locomotive coupled up to it, and you just go off at a steady rate. You don't want the locomotive running too slowly, you don't want it running too fast. Just kind of at a steady rate, and run it around for however long you think it needs to go around. Typically it's for me, it's about, you know, anything between 10 minutes and 15 minutes, and it's cleaned the whole layout. You don't have to fill this up completely with solution. Kind of gauge it as you're going. I'll show you a pipette here. I take a pipette, put it into the bottle of white spirits, and when up to about here is, I know there's enough solution in that to clean the entire layout that I showed you earlier on. As I said, it's very well made. This will last years. It's solid brass, and actually in that regard the wagon is really heavy, and then with the pad underneath, it makes it even more heavy for a locomotive to pull. So you need something that's really powerful to pull this. A lot of my American locomotives will pull it no problem. I had a Bachmann Class 24 that would pull it. In the beginning I actually used 2 Lehman locomotives, double-headed, to pull this, and as I said, it does a great job. And maybe in a further video I might just show it in action. As I said, it's difficult holding the camera and trying to show you something at the same time, but I hope that's helped some of you today. You know, maybe giving you a few hints and tips, and hope everyone keeps well, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Take care. Bye.